Hello everyone and welcome to Katharine's Creatures. This is a series we're going to talk a little bit about and touch base upon various mythological creatures, beasts, beings, and the like pulled from lore worldwide. And I always like to preface by saying that I'm not a linguist, so if I mispronounce anything along the way, I do apologize in advance. And today, I wanted to go to ancient Greece and talk about and again, I'm hopefully pronouncing this even remotely correctly, the Gegenes or the Gegenes. There are two alternate spellings, I'll kind of post them below. But essentially, they are these six-armed humanoid monstrosities from, again, ancient Greek myth, in particular relating to the story of the Argos. So if you know anything about Jason and the Argonauts and the quest for the Golden Fleece, you know that at the point where Jason, in order to reclaim his rightful heritage and his kingdom, he was sent on a task to bring back the Golden Fleece. And there's a lot of adventures, there's a lot of interesting creatures and peoples that he and these rest of this crew of heroes, and some of them become the iconic heroes that we know after the fact of this particular voyage. But it's a really cool piece of Greek literature, and the most famous and the only complete works based upon it was Argonautica, and that was written by Apollodorus of Rhodes. And okay, so that was a little background, sorry about that. But going to these particular creatures, at one point during the story, Jason and his crew are on this island where these six-armed humanoids live and exist, and depending on the translation or the reference, sometimes they are described as being gigantic. So again, akin to the giants or the titans being these huge beings. Other times their height or size is not necessarily called into question. It's just the fact that they have six arms on these, again, these kind of grotesque humanoid entities. But during this stop at this particular island, there are two real versions that I saw, one of which says that at some point the crew stopped on the island and relaxed a little bit, probably wandered around a little bit, and then they all gathered up to leave. During that moment, they forgot Heracles. Heracles being the Greek version of Hercules. And so during the time where Heracles is stuck on this island with these six-armed giants, he has to go and defend himself and fight all these giants in this epic battle until the crew realizes, oops, we forgot Heracles, comes back around to pick him up. Another version that I saw was that while they were on the island all together, Jason and part of the crew went off to hike up top to this mountain so they could have a better look at the lands and the waters that they'll have to kind of navigate going forward. The rest of the crew, heading off with Heracles, sailed their ship around to this other inlet, this other bay, essentially, where they were to wait for Jason and the rest to meet back up. And during that time, while they were on the ship, that's when they were attacked by these six-armed giants who started throwing boulders at the ship Argos, trying to sink it and destroy them. And Heracles, along with the crew that had remained with the ship, go and defend the ship, fight off these monsters until Jason and the crew could come back and help them finish them off. And of course, in the end, the Argonauts were all survived, all the giants were destroyed, and they were left for the fish and the birds to feast off their corpses until they were no more. So, lovely little tale right there. But I did want to bring this up because I just think it is fascinating, all these variations of giant kind throughout various mythos, and the fact that ancient Greece has multiple kinds, be it titans or these Gegeines, but there are several different type of races of abnormally large or unusually shaped, like the Cyclops, creatures in ancient Greece. Now, the only other thing I can mention about the Gegeines, there's not necessarily, I did not see, now correct me if you know anything better, did not find any particular origin of how they came into being. Though the author, Apollodorus, or Apollonius of Rhodes, did call into question if it was Hera who somehow bred them to be a secret 13th task for Heracles, because she has a vendetta against that particular hero. and created this as a secret task and another way for her to spite this particular hero in the making. Anywho, that is all I have on this. If you have any questions about Greek myth, any kind of myth, my writing, or anything else, please post them in the comments below or reach out to me on any of my social media. And until next time, everyone, Skål.